back to MCOC Al Bundy Rules, everybody. This is a video I made per a lot of people's requests. So this is a little how to fight Nightcrawler video. It also is useful on pretty much any evade champ other than this first section. This first section I'm showing the most obvious way how to be Nightcrawler. Switching to swashbuckling. Hit into his block a few times. Hopefully he doesn't evade. Be careful. You see he switches at that point, just don't switch him back. The rest of the fight is simple. So wasn't going to do a whole video just on a simple swashbuckling switch. So I have 3 fights coming up, each of them with a 3-star champ against a 6-star R3 Nightcrawler. I am not going to rely on swashbuckling here. So I am going to show you how to fight Nightcrawler, which would equate to any other evade champ pretty much, and strategies you can use. So the first one I'm starting off with here is going to be SpiderGwen. So I'm not going to switch him at all to swashbuckling, so I can fight him the old-fashioned way. And in this case, SpiderGwen's heavy has a slow debuff attached to it. I did a nice little 4-minute tutorial on her just a couple days ago. I recommend watching it if you have not yet already. We'll show you how good she really is. It's amazing how overshadowed she really is. I think it was bad timing coming out with that great SheHulk debuff as well. But all you got to do simply is about every 15 seconds, your slow debuff is good for 15 seconds. You just make sure you keep that slow active. If you lose the slow, just parry heavy again. But about every 15 seconds or so, do a heavy. Whether it's a parry heavy, whether you heavy, bait heavy, whatever you punish a special with a heavy. Just heavy every 15 seconds. You see that slow debuff up there in the red. You see the timer going down. Say it's good for 15 seconds. In the meantime, he cannot evade. You notice not a single evade as long as I keep that slow going on. You'll notice right now I'm kind of building up her spider charges up top. I kind of explained this on the 4-minute tutorial I just mentioned. You're curious about that, curious on why I'm doing certain things or how she's working. Definitely watch that video. This is not a tutorial on SpiderGwen, more of a way how to easily beat Nightcrawler and really any other evade champ with the same basic technique. So we see this fight going. Again, this is just an R3 SpiderGwen against an R3 6-star. Sorry, a 3-star SpiderGwen against an R3 6-star Nightcrawler. So it's going to take quite a bit of hits since there's clearly a difference in the ratings there. Those 3 stars don't pack much of a wallop, do they? But getting the job done, and this is so we can kind of illustrate basic technique. I know a lot of people still have issues with Nightcrawler. So let's try another champ. Easy to make anyone look easy with one champ. Let's try another champ. Let's do a 3-star SheHulk. It's going to be a rather similar strategy that I use with SpiderGwen. Again, I want to get those slow debuffs. SheHulk also has the slow debuff attached to her heavy attack. It's 3 seconds shorter though. So if you have a hard time with quick fights, SpiderGwen might be a little bit easier as far as the 3 extra seconds on the slow, but 12 seconds still more than enough to get a lot of hits in. Just might mean a couple extra heavies needed along during the fight. And same basic strategy. So in here I'm just going to be keeping that slow going, lost it, so I did the parry, heavy, got that slow back up. Now I can continue to hit. So similar, if I lose the slow, I'm a little slow on reactivating the slow, then just reactivate it. But reactivate it while they're stunned so they don't evade. Again, I am avoiding activating the swashbuckling mode. Nightcrawler is any other champ at that point when his swashbuckling is activated. So don't need a video how to show you how to fight him swashbuckling. That would be rather pointless. Show you how to fight him when he's in his more difficult state. Because he's not always easy to switch off of swashbuckling. Sometimes they'll keep trying to evade while you try to switch him over. Sometimes there might be nodes or other issues that might prevent it or make it harder. So want to make sure you can know how to fight him without that reliance. So again, nothing too fancy going on. Just some simple, straight to the point. Being very cautious in my fights. A 3-star against a 6-star R3 cannot take a whole lot of anything. Can't take very few hits. and can't take a whole lot of blocks or even parries really. So I'm playing somewhat cautiously, knowing that block damage alone would knock out my champ rather quickly. And that ain't gonna make for a good video watching Nightcrawler knocking out the champs over and over. So we see this fight's getting a little close to the end now. I got the slow debuff going on. And again, it's going to take quite a few hits, mainly because it's a 3-star. Alright, so third and final one. This one I'm going to use Emma. Another one I did a 4-minute tutorial not too long ago. Again, against an R3 6-star Nightcrawler. Again, not going to rely on swashbuckling. At least not as a major reliance. So the big thing with Emma is you need to switch her to telepath mode and keep her there. So as we see here in her abilities, her attacks ignore evade as long as she's in telepath. So an easy way to switch her into telepath is start off the fight with 3 parry heavies. Based on how the power differential works, once she's in diamond mode, she'll go to telepath. She loses telepath if she ends up with less power than the defender. Therefore, that means as long as I do not use a special attack, I can keep her in telepath. There is an exception to where we'll see a couple times if I take certain percentage of damage, she will temporarily switch to diamond. And since I'm using not even a fully ranked up 3-star, she will switch to diamond pretty easily. But as long as I still have more power, she will switch back after that couple second timer. So just back off, don't do any attacks while I wait for her to switch back to telepath. But as long as Emma's in telepath, Nightcrawler or any other evader cannot evade. So again, this technique is to be used on pretty much any evader out there because it will allow us to be very successful on that. Once again, a big reason why I'm not using swashbuckling mode. So we can see how to fight Nightcrawler, those Spider-Mans, any other Miles, any other evaders out there. Simple, play cautious. Since I'm using such a lower ranked champ, a non-ranked up 3-star against an R3 6-star, gotta be super careful of the kind of damage being taken. So you will see playing a little bit more passive than some of you are accustomed to see me playing. And as I've seen I've taken a couple little hits during the videos. Nothing over the top, but enough to still be able to easily win a fight with a way lower ranked champ, showing the basic strategies and how to beat him. The main goal of these videos is to show you how to fight Nightcrawler and or other evaders with some of the lesser used options out there. Some pretty simple options that sit on a lot of people's rosters that aren't always used for these kind of fights as much as they should or could be. And the good thing about using Emma instead of the other couple fights I showed is I don't have to rely on those parry heavies. I can just, you might see a little more baits, a little more intercept, a little more other things with Emma because I don't have to rely on keeping it slow. As long as I keep her in telepath, I'm good to go. I don't gotta worry about it, which is nice. And at this point, I went ahead and switched him over to swashbuckling. I just kept hitting into the block at that point. Already had over 100 hits without swashbuckling. Definitely illustrated the point, but also want to show that you can switch him over to swashbuckling too. I just don't think people should be over relying on swashbuckling because it's not always quite that simple. And I want you to be able to learn these techniques too because it will help you with other evasive champs. So I put my main focus on holding off any swashbuckling, but want to make sure you are aware of it because that is really the #1 part of any how to fight Nightcrawler part. So it's more focused on how to fight him without relying on that little swashbuckling switch. And we're getting ready to wrap up this being the third and final fight. I'm hoping you enjoyed this video. If you liked what you saw on some of the champs I used like Emma or SpiderGwen, I recommend watching my 4-minute tutorials on my channel, MCOC Al Bundy Rules. New 4-minute tutorials, couple come out every week, so more to come. Be sure to click that top left button and subscribe if you have not already done so. If you got time for another video, please enjoy. Thanks again for watching.